Hello and welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Family Planet365 on AM 1220 KHTS. I'm your host, Malena Jackson, and today we're talking to Nancy Olmos. She is the owner and baker extraordinaire of Clarissa's Cake and Candy Supply right here in Newhall. Clarissa's here. I always say that. Nancy is here to get us in the mood to bake with our little ones. We find it is a good way to bond and a great way to create memories and actually just relieve some stress around the holidays, just to be in the kitchen with your little ones. And she actually in the first segment gave us a great tip about buying blank cookies, so like a shortbread blank, and then using non-toxic markers to have the little goobers paint and create their holiday cookies. Who knew? And another good tip, Nancy, you said was to use water, powdered sugar, and food coloring. Mix it up with just a little, like not a pasty, but kind of like
runny glue.
Yeah. And use clean art brushes. And you can also have the kids paint on cookies that way. So there's really no excuse now.
Right.
Because we thought we had to have it like a Pinterest and, subscribe to all these other great programs out there to help us get to baking in the kitchen with our kids. But not just during the holidays. I use the holidays because it's just a time the kids are home. Right. Things slow down a bit in life. And what else are we going to do?
Right.
So when on break you were telling me about you're the gingerbread chairman. I did not know that existed.
For Festival of Trees. The Festival of Trees was the week before Thanksgiving, and this was our 13th year, and we had 189 gingerbread houses and candy trains that were made by people in the community. And my shop donates the house, the baseboard, and the frosting. And we encourage youth groups, church groups, women's groups, just any families, anybody, to come in. We give them their house, their board, they go home and they decorate it, and then they bring it back to us. And then I house them in my house, and then we transport them to the festival. We made over $5,000 this year for the Boys and Girls Club. A very, very
it was
awesome.
The Boys and Girls Club.
It's a great organization.
And that's during the Festival of Trees.
For the Festival of Trees. And there's all the tabletop trees. We have a children's corner, and they have a boutique this year and a sweets corner. And of course, Santa visits on Saturday and Sunday, so that's good. The schools, dance clubs that come and dance and sing. The schools sing. It's just a wonderful thing for the community to kick off for the holidays. It's awesome. We've done it for 13 years. It's wonderful.
Wow. And so you transport all the gingerbread house. What does that look like?
It's crazy. I had about 8 ladies with vans and big SUVs that came to my house, and we loaded them up, and no one can come and visit me during that time. I've got gingerbread houses everywhere. Wow. And it's fun.
I bet your house smells good.
Oh, it does. I love going home at night. It smells wonderful.
Yeah, nice.
It's a fun activity, and gets everybody in the community kind of together, building houses and competitive things. Not competitive, but at work. Yeah. Sometimes at work. Princess Cruises one year. They were the houses that they built were incredible. And
Princess Cruises.
Yes. Several of the gals shop with me, and so they took a house home and then said, "Well, I want to build one." So pretty soon they were this group and this group. Well, I'm going to make mine bigger. I'm going to. It's just a fun thing.
Friendly competition.
Oh yes, always friendly.
I like that. Yes. And okay, so you're the gingerbread chairman, is that right?
For Festival of Trees.
For Festival of Trees. Yes. Okay, so now I know people in high places. That's great. And we talked about. You mentioned these shortbread cookies are better for decorating for the holidays because they're stronger.
They're firmer.
They're firmer and flat. And so we don't have to worry about them when they go in the oven. They swell up.
Right.
Because they are shortbread cookies. Right. So you gave me a great recipe here. Thank you. And then the simple fudge.
Oh my
Tell me about that. The never fail fudge. Never fail fudge.
For years, people have done the fantasy fudge, and that's great. Gets a little crusty though. Our never fail fudge is incredible, and I've never had anybody fail with it. It's 1 pound of our chocolate coating that we sell, and 1 can of condensed milk. That's all it is. And you melt your 1 pound of chocolate, and then you you open up the can. That's the hard part. And scoop it in and mix it up. Boom, you have fudge. Now, if you want to make it special,
I want to make
marshmallows or nuts, or again, look at your cupboard. What hasn't moved in the last 6 months? Put the broken pretzels. Put the Rice Krispies in it. Put broken candy canes. Put broken Oreos, M&Ms, jelly bean bark. You know, you can put anything in it. You could have jelly bean fudge at Easter time and put Red Hots at Valentine's. And that one basic 1 pound of chocolate, our coating, to 1 can of condensed milk, it's a base.
And so you mix it inside of the fudge. You don't just top it.
Well, you can.
You can at the end.
One time I took half of it and put it down, made milk chocolate. Then I spread peanut butter, and then I capped it with the rest of the fudge, so that when you cut it open, you had a peanut butter center. Oh. You can swirl caramel through it. You can swirl marshmallow fluff through it. Like I say, M&Ms you can mix through it.
Yeah,
you can top it off with broken candy canes to make a mint fudge. It's the best. It's the best. Okay. And just stop by my store. I have all those recipes, and they're free. You can take them.
Oh, really? So you just come in and you can get
right
the
by
recipes.
The door.
Okay.
Some people just pop in and say, I need the fudge recipe. I forgot mine, and take it, and off they go.
Oh, I love that. And that's what I was thinking about. You know, we don't want to, because everything's not for everybody. So there's some parents who are moms who don't bake. They're like, I don't do that. Would you say that the Never Fail fudge, can you do that if you're not so good in the kitchen?
Yes. The hardest part is opening the can.
Okay, got it. So I think we can handle that.
You can handle that one. You can.
Yeah. And then what would you say as far as keeping the kids? I know we talked about having activities for them, but how do you keep it neat? Like not making a big mess.
You know what? You just have to remember everything's washable. Okay. And not fret over that. There's going to be a mess no matter what. Aprons are wonderful. I love aprons. I have quite a few of them. We sell tons of aprons at our store. I deal with a lady that makes only reversible aprons. So if kids have an apron on and that side gets dirty, you just flip it over to the other side. You got 2 in 1. But aprons are wonderful, if you cover up so that they're not, wearing good clothes, they can cover up. And kids don't want to be messy. Kids like to wash their hands. They do. I mean, when I do kids' classes, they're in the bathroom all the time. And they want to help. And kids, give them a job of, you got to watch. You got to clean up that part. And if you give them a specific job that they have to do, that, keep this clean or do this, make sure this is put away, it makes them more a part of what you're doing, part of their activity. Kids want to... they like to make the mess, but they like to clean up too. They do. Okay. They do. And it's part of it, I last night when the ladies were all covered in powdered sugar and they were a mess, this is a mess, I said, that means you had fun. Okay. If you're neat and tidy, you must not be having fun. You gotta get it all on you, and get into the mood of it. Have powdered sugar in your hair, then you're good.
Then you know. That's how you know. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, then, Nancy, tell me about this Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cookie here. I think I have an idea.
Yeah, he's made with the Nutter Butter cookie.
Yes, how cute is that?
And if you have someone with nut allergies, you can use the Milano cookie. Okay. And it'll do the same kind of thing. His antlers are pretzels. Okay. And
wait, you dip it in chocolate?
Dipped it in a milk chocolate.
Oh, right. Well, how do you do that?
You take a plastic picnic fork, break out the center tines. So instead of having 4, you're going to have 2. It looks like a little pitchfork. And you melt your chocolate in a double boiler or 2 saucepans that nest together. Get your water boiling. Turn your water off. Top pan, put your chocolate. Instantly, it's going to start melting. Once it's melted, you dip your cookie in. Take your little dipping fork and flip it over. Bring it out. And because there's the space there, it lets the chocolate drip off because you've taken part of that fork out. And lay it on waxed paper because that's going to be a good release. And then immediately you're going to put your, I put a Red Hot for his nose. You can put a red M&M if you don't have Red Hots. We sell the little royal icing eyes, but you can use the mini M&Ms for eyes if you want. Pretzels for the antlers. And then we sell the little holly to just dress him up a bit. But he's a fun little treat. Put him in a cute little bag and give to everybody. And it's a simple thing. And I do those with kids. I do those with 6 and 7-year-old kids that come into my class.
Okay, so in the double boiler, though, are you putting the cookie inside? Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it doesn't get soggy?
No, because you just flip it in, flip it over, take it out.
And that's what the little pitchfork is for?
Yes, just a little plastic fork. We sell dipping forks. They're like $3. Okay. Plastic forks are free.
Okay. Yeah. So you need a dipping fork.
It's better because it makes the chocolate drip off. It gives it space for it to drip off. If you're using a big regular fork, it's going to kind of puddle up. So that's kind of fun.
Those are too cute. And those are like the Rudolph, the cookies.
Yes, and that's a fun cookie, and everybody loves them. And I love the Nutter Butter cookies, so it's a good taste too. Okay. But if you have to have the Milano, that's a good one too.
The Milano cookies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just need like that
same
frame. Yeah, for the face.
Right.
Okay. Right. And then I have another favorite. I'm just going to choose another one for you listening. There's a cute Santa one. It's really little.
Yes.
And it's like a heart shape.
It is a heart, and you can make a Santa out of a heart. Lots of times we want to make cookies, but we don't either have the time to go buy cookie cutters or we don't have the money. But, look in your cupboard again. What are your cookie cutters? Turn them around. Can you do something out of that simple cookie cutter? A round circle could be a snowball or a snowman. You could, this heart makes a wonderful Santa. The point is his hat.
Okay.
And then
turn it upside down so you have the heart.
And then the heart part on the bottom creates his little beard. You can use a little mini Red Hot or a M&M for his nose. Mm-hmm. And then again, I use the edible markers to draw his face on.
Oh.
Yes, in the center. And I made the red royal icing for the pointy part for his hat. And then some flesh color for the flesh. And then I did the black markers when it was dry.
Wow, it's so cute, and it's
just fun.
It looks like a lot of detail, but as you explain, it's really simple.
Very simple. And if you were doing a lot of them, you would line them all up on your table and give the kids the red paint. Let them paint the top part.
Okay.
And if they paint down too far, it's okay because you're going to cover it up with the little white fuzz for his hat and the beard, and let them put the face on. They're going to put little dots and things, and they'll be happy with it. I think sometimes we get too, into it, and it has to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, it's made with love, and that's what's important. Not that it's perfect, and it's just, and the kids get so excited, Grandma, I made this. And maybe the grandma looks at it and thinks, what is it? But they know it's made with love, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about, a lot of the schools now, which I understand, say you can't bake. How when your daughter has a birthday and you make some cupcakes, now they want it to be store-bought, which is cool because I get that because I don't personally like to eat from everybody who bakes. But what would you say to someone who might want to give a gift? They want to bake something, but they don't. This is great. I love the Rudolph cookie. I think that's really good. But what's a simple go-to? Like we can bake these, bag them up, and they'll feel the bark. You already answered that question, really.
Right.
The bark.
Yeah. That's the easiest thing to do, and it's sad. But I used to work in elementary school, and on the books in the state of California, there is a law that says no outside food can go into a public building. Mm-hmm. And if you take that literal, you can't take your lunch. You can't take your coffee. You can't take and it has been, people go back on that because things happen, and we need to be safe, and some people aren't the best and do hurt, put things in that aren't good. And now with so many allergies, we do need to be careful. Okay. We bake tons of cookies that go to schools, but people know, we're a licensed kitchen. We just do shortbread. We don't do anything with nuts or, any of that kind of stuff. So there's no allergies. And so, you just got to be smart about it and do things that, no one's going to get sick or can't get hurt or it's a different world we live in.
Yeah.
It's a different world.
It's like we have all this technology and ways to be in touch, but it's like it's more complicated. Things are more complicated.
I think so. It gets out of control sometimes.
And that's why we bake.
Yes, because it releases.
Yeah, and we bond.
Yes,
simply,
exactly. And it just gives you a good feeling inside. That warm, fuzzy feeling inside when you look at something. Look what I did. Look what I made. This was awesome.
And I like the way it makes the house smell.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
You have the Christmas tree going and cookies in the oven or a cake in the oven. It's just it's really nice. I love that time of the year. What are some ideas? You mentioned the red hots and the fudge. So let's take it outside of the Christmas holiday. So we have not Thanksgiving. We have Valentine's Day, then Easter. So you have any
You could do a white chocolate fudge for Valentine's if you wanted, and put red hots in it, or we have red sprinkles you could put in it. You could make red fudge. You know, I don't eat a lot of red stuff, like other apples or stuff like that, but mostly fudge is brown and white, but we sell colored chocolate, all kinds of colors that you could do. Easter, the jelly bean bark or jelly bean fudge.
What is jelly bean bark? I've heard you mention
the same thing. Just take your white chocolate, mix in some colored jelly beans, and spread it out really, really thin, and it makes a bark. A bark can be anything that's just spread out thin on wax paper, breaks up, and then it's
bark.
Yeah, it's bark. It's just a thin candy.
That's what bark is.
Yes, and it's easy. Anybody can do it. Kids can do it. It's fun. Yeah.
So I think bark is a simple go-to to give as a gift. If you just wanted to let the postman know that, hey, thank you for helping me with life, or your nanny even, just thank you for helping me. Just a little, because the holidays is a good reminder of a time to show gratitude. I know we talk about Thanksgiving, but the holidays is a good time to do that too.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be all complex and, overthought of or about.
Because I think we get too caught up in the world and we forget to say that word thank you. Sometimes.
So we should always have our go-to bark recipe.
Get the bark.
And the cute bags that we can get at Clarissa's.
There you go.
With the ribbon, and just throw some bark in there, wrap it up, and send it on its way.
Thank you. Right.
I love that. Well, tell us more about, Nancy. How can we find out more about Clarissa's Cake and Candy Supply, and especially the classes coming up?
They're on our website. We have our kids class once a month, and our, like I said, was saying the basic cake decorating is starting in January, the week of January 12th. So on our website is the best way to go. You'll see our classroom. You'll see some people in action doing some classes and some cakes and things. We do custom baking. Cookies and candies and
wedding cakes.
We do wedding cakes and party cakes and, graduations and whatever the occasion. We like to do that. We also do edible images that go on cakes. If you want to do your own cake, but you want to put someone's picture, your daughter's picture on there, you bring us the picture and we reproduce it on marshmallow paper, and then you can it's like a sticker. You peel it and stick it on a cake. So there's another easy way to decorate a cake.
Oh, yeah, just put an image on it.
Yeah.
All right.
Fun.
Well, thank you for being here today, Nancy.
Thank you for inviting me. You have a wonderful holiday.
Yeah, well, thank you. You too. You really inspired me to just keep it simple, and have given me some great ideas. And I hope everyone listening got some good ideas on how to make memories and create traditions in your family, especially if you have small children. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll share with you my favorite holiday song right now. You're going to be so surprised what the title and who it's by what am I trying to say? You're going to be so surprised at who it is and what the title is when we come back, and I'll tell you what we're going to talk about next week. All right, more when we return. Hello and welcome back. You're listening to Family Planet 365 on your hometown station AM 1220 KHTS. Today we talked about making memories and family traditions in the kitchen. I hope that you learned a lot. I know I did, especially about the simple fudge idea, and I learned what bark is. I didn't know that it was just a simple candy on paper and it's flat and you tear it a piece and put it in a bag and you have bark. So that's really cool. And then the thing about Nancy from Clarissa's Cake and Candy Supply here in Newhall told us about a simple way to create icing for our cookies, and that, why you should use shortbread, which I really didn't know, because we would always try to bake sugar cookies and gingerbread men, and then when you take them out the oven, they're huge. So she said shortbread, it doesn't really rise and it's firmer. So I have a great recipe from her on that, and if you want to swing by her store, that's a great place to get some other cool recipes and possibly meet Nancy and take a few classes or two. So that's our show for today. I wanted to ask you, do you have a favorite holiday song? Oh my goodness. I don't know what has come over me, but I am totally feeling Justin Bieber's Mistletoe. I'm going to close the show with that. But first, I love the part when he's like, shorty with you. I'm like, oh, that is so cute. This is a Christmas song, and he's totally taken a Christmas song and made it sexy. Thank you, Justin Bieber. Okay, so I'm your host, Malena Jackson, and next week we're going to talk about a new year, new you. I'm going to actually have our fitness health expert from the Santa Clarita Valley YMCA, Charlene Duzick, is going to be here to talk to us about fitness and nutrition tips. Plus, we'll have our local beauty expert, Michael Beck from Entourage Hair Studio. He's going to talk to us about like how to look nice, simply. I'm all about keeping it simple, but looking like you did the work. So he's going to talk to us about our hair, of course, and some quick makeup tips and maybe what he can do for you at the Entourage Hair Studio. That's next week. Thank you so much for tuning in to Family Planet 365. I'm excited that we're going to close with my favorite holiday song, Justin Bieber's Mistletoe. I hope that you have a Merry Christmas, and thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.